Roll.
Senators Schroer.
Here.
Gregory 15. Brown 26. Berger. May. Roberts. Schnelting.
We have a quorum. I'm going to go into public hearing first, and then we're going to have the executive session on the bills that we were supposed to do last week and a couple for today. So the only bill on our schedule today is House Bill 1218 from Representative Hinman. Proceed when ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senators, my name is Representative Dave Hinman, and I represent the great city of O'Fallon, District 103. I'm here today to talk about House Bill 1218. This bill is in response to an increased need for employees in public safety during a burglary event in a commercial space, and ensures store employees have the legal protections needed to keep dangerous individuals out of restricted areas before violence begins. House Bill 1218 is a targeted common sense reform that strengthens Missouri's burglary laws to hold repeat violent offenders accountable while protecting employees, customers, businesses, and communities. This legislation closes a legal loophole that allows criminals to enter restricted areas of business with little or no consequences, ensuring that those who repeatedly threaten public safety face real penalties before crimes escalate. Workers in convenience stores, big box retailers, and small businesses face growing safety risks from criminals unlawfully entering employee-only areas. House Bill 1218 creates a clear legal consequence for individuals who jump behind the check stand, enter a back room, or access cash handling areas, ensuring the employees and the customers remain safe. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Representative. Any questions? Senator May.
So do your bill say the areas have to be clearly marked? Because I'm not showing it.
Yeah, that's going to be on line 9.
Is that line 9? Okay, clearly marked with a sign or signs that indicate to the public that entry is forbidden. That's good, because you know in some of them stores like TJ Maxx and stuff, it also says employees only, but the bathroom is back there, and so you have to go to the bathroom.
Correct.
So we have to.
The area in particular has to be clearly marked, whether that's at a check stand for a restaurant or convenience store or in a big box retailer. It has to be clearly marked.
Very good. Thank you.
And just so the committee knows, this was added into the Senate bill that I have on retail theft after we passed the crime bill. So this was part of a larger package that we had moved already through this, and this is just the House version of that. Any other questions? A long time ago. Months ago.
I did not.
First up in support of House Bill 1218.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is David Overfelt. I'm the president of the Missouri Retailers Association and a lobbyist for the Missouri Grocers Association. Both groups, of course, support this bill. We want to protect our employees and our customers, and we really think this would be a great tool and a deterrence for these criminals that are willing to hop behind where we exchange money and everything else we do to keep a store operating.
It's just common sense.
Yeah.
Any questions? Seeing none. Next witness in support of House Bill 1218, please come forward. Seeing none. Any in opposition? Seeing none. Any for informational purposes? Seeing none. Any closing remarks? Easiest bill of the year?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That concludes the public hearing on House Bill number 1218. And we are I'm going to make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? Having a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those against say no, and the ayes have it. We are in executive session. I now move that we bring up House Bill 49 for executive session on trafficking of drugs. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those against say no, and the ayes have it. House Bill 49 is before the committee. 49. We heard this last week. It's involving drug trafficking of fentanyl. This mirrors a bill that we heard last year in this committee, which was House Committee Sub to House Bill 2576. Just House Bill 49. This was Haley. Representative Haley was the sponsor from last week. Was one of the last bills we heard last week on trafficking of fentanyl, just increasing some of those amounts for drug trafficking of fentanyl and car fentanyl. This is a little bit different than Carter's bill. And I believe House Bill 49. Yeah, so this is identical to a bill last year by Representative Castile, and I filed this as well, made it through the committee, and I believe it came through unanimously last year. Any questions? Lowering the amount of fentanyl since it is so dangerous in small amounts, and car fentanyl, which is even more deadlier than that. It's a derivative of fentanyl. I would recommend we don't try it. Any questions on House Bill 49? Seeing none. I now move that we do pass House Bill number 49. Do I have a second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those against say no. The ayes have it. Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Schroer,
Aye.
Gregory 15, Brown 26, Berger, May, Roberts, Schnelting.
6-0. By a vote of 6-0, motion passes. I now move that we bring Senate Bill 741 of mine regarding the death penalty and federal review before the committee. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no. The ayes have it. We now have 741 before the committee. Yeah, so this was the federal review of death penalties in order to kind of expedite the review process, because some of these cases we heard from witnesses last week, family members saying that it would take 7-8 years. And this would just allow for all of these individuals who are on death row to have legal counsel. And so it's strengthening their appeals process, getting legal counsel, and moving that through the process so we can actually find out if there is any reason to overturn the case or if this is the correct penalty. Senate Bill 741. I move that we vote do pass Senate Bill 741. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no. The ayes have it. Any further discussion? Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Schroer,
Aye.
Gregory 15, Brown 26, Berger, May, Roberts, Schnelting.
6-0. By a vote of 6-0, motion carries. I now move that we bring Senate or House Committee sub for House Bill 1259 before the committee. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no, and the ayes have it. I have a Senate committee substitute, which was emailed to the entire committee a couple weeks ago and then again last Wednesday. And I move that we adopt the Senate committee substitute for House committee substitute for House Bill 1259. Do I have a second? We have a second. Now this is the judicial proceedings. We changed the title from civil jurisprudence to judicial proceedings, inserted regarding the provision regarding the Eastern District Court of Appeals in 477050, inserted the Judicial Privacy Act, which we've heard countless times in this committee. We've inserted the removal of that expiration date of the Civil Legal Services Fund, which has been added to Senate Bill 10 and countless other bills that we've already sent out of the House and the Senate. This inserts a judicial review of agency determination similar to Senate Bill 221, which the body has already sent over into the House. We've got the Uniform Public Expression Protection Act, the Anti-SLAPP, a Crime Victims Compensation Fund as well, and then a provision extending the sunset of the Cyber Crimes Investigation Fund in 65120.
So this is an omnibus bill, basically.
Not necessarily an omnibus. I would label it a mini omnibus bill for judicial proceedings. But it includes, you have to be specific, Senator Gregory, a mini omnibus of sorts.
A mini omnibus.
Mini, it's you know the Mini Coopers? Have you seen that? I know Senator O'Laughlin has a Mini
So
Cooper.
run it down, how many bills we put in here, because I know this started off as an estate planning, right?
Correct. So we have the Missouri electronic wills and electronic estate planning. We have title search of property and trust, principal place of administration of a trust, statute of limitations on actions against a trustee, taxable income of trusts and estates, and I believe the Judicial Privacy Act, estate planning during COVID. There's some of that was in the original bill. Then we added a provision on the Basic Civil Legal Services Fund, which is just that extension of the expiration date because it's going to expire. The same as the cybercrime.
And all those bills been heard.
Correct. Yes, there's nothing in here that has not been heard, and I believe everything that is in this bill has been heard in this committee for several years.
And we had, that's what I was trying to get out of my bill. No, it's been heard for several years. But we, in that bill, you said we limited the statute of limitations for what?
I don't think we limited the statute of limitations for anything.
You added the statute of limitations for something. Trust.
Yeah, so that was part of the original bill. Let me see. That's the statute of limitations on actions against a trustee. Currently, if a trustee is not furnished a report on the potential claims or such report fails to meet the information requirements, a proceeding against a trustee for breach of trust shall be commenced within 5 years after the first date of certain events. This act modifies it by providing that such action shall be commenced within the first of the removal, the resignation, or the death of the trustee, or the occurrence of the event causing a termination of the beneficiary's interest in the trust, or the occurrence of the event causing a termination of the trust. Any further discussion on the Senate Committee sub for House Bill 1259? I now move that we adopt the Senate Committee sub for House Committee sub for House Bill 1259. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no. And the ayes have it. I now move that we do pass Senate Committee sub or House Committee sub for House Bill 1259. Do I have a second? Having a second from Senator Berger. Having a third from Senator Schnelting. Fourth, anybody? Any further discussion on the do pass motion? Seeing none, Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Schroer,
Aye.
Gregory 15, Brown 26, Berger, May, Roberts, Schnelting. 6-0.
By a vote of 6-0, motion carries. I now move that we bring forth before the committee House Committee sub for House Bill 176. Do I have a second? Second. Having a second, the bill is now before the committee. I now have a Senate Committee substitute, only adding one provision to it, which should all be in your inboxes, to House Bill 176. I think it was late last night. It's just adding one provision, which has already been through this committee. It's already been.
Sleep, right?
No, who sleeps anymore?
I'm just saying, you know, this is amazing to me.
So this, or let me back up for a second. I now move that we vote do pass on the Senate Committee sub. Do I have a second? Having a second? Oh, okay. So let me explain what's in here. So this is the bill that we heard last week on civil jurisprudence. Again, it started as a mini omnibus, and we just added one provision to it. This has the birth, death, and marriage records, Missouri Uniform Fiduciary Income and Principal Act, several other provisions too, as illustrated by Representative Parker, the chair of Judiciary. It's got the workers' compensation issue that we've been dealing with, ALJs, for several years in this committee. Court dissolution of limited liability companies, Uniform Unregulated Child Custody Transfer Acts, classification of minors for orders of protection, principal place of administration of a trust, statute of limitations against a tort trustee, which we just heard in that previous bill, Missouri electronic wills and electronic estate planning, which is in the previous bill, mental health treatment courts, confidentiality of certain cases in court management systems, basic legal services fund. So this was all in the original bill, and the only provision that we added was Senate Bill 221 on the judicial non-deference, which we've already voted out of the Senate. Any questions? Seeing none, I now move that we adopt the Senate substitute for House Bill 176. Do I have a second? Having a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Secretary, well, this is a voice vote for adopting it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no. And the ayes have it. I now move yes. Senator May.
We adopted the sub already.
Yes, we adopted the sub. That includes just adding Senate Bill 221, which is the judicial non-deference. That's similar to the overturning of Chevron at the federal level. We're doing that at the state level. And that's something that we've already voted out of.
Yeah, I'm clear. I'll do it on the floor. I want to add Senate Bill 18. It's already in there.
To carry.
You did. I'm shocked. Which one's 18? That's the law library.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Secretary, call. I now renew my motion that we do pass Senate Committee substitute for House Committee substitute for House Bill 176. Do I have a second? Having a second, Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Senators Schroer,
Aye.
Gregory 15, Brown 26, Berger, May, Roberts, Schnelting, 6-0.
I vote a 6-0. Motion carries. We have two bills left. Two bills left. Just two. We do. So I now make a motion that we bring forth House Committee subs for House Bills 971, 293, and 978 before the committee. Do I have a second? Having a second, the bill is now before the committee. I have a Senate Committee substitute, and I move that we adopt the Senate Committee substitute for House Committee sub for House Bill 971, 293, and 978. Do I have a second? So I have a second. This bill,
This bill is 293.
so it starts as 971, so it should be in your folder as 971, but the bill numbers associated with that.
978 and 293.
Correct. So this is the public safety bill that the offense of unlawful trafficking of a motor vehicle, the title was changed to public safety, and we have the income, or we incorporate the provision on the line of duty compensation act that is going to expire this year, and that's one that we've had on several bills. I know the House is going to put that onto Senate Bill 10. We placed that on several things, and I believe myself and Senator Gregory have that standalone bills. We have the mental health treatment courts, which have already been voted out of the Senate, that are on here. The admissibility of certain evidence in criminal cases on 491 and 075. We incorporate provisions on pretrial witness protection program. We also have provisions from House Bill 1218 relating to the offense of burglary in the second degree, which we just heard today. We also have a provisions of Senate Sub number 2 to Senate Bill 176 on the offense of hazing, which we heard early on this year from Senator Gregory the Younger and Senator Trent. And we also have the Crime Victims Compensation Fund as well. Any discussion on 971?
And when was that sub distributed?
Several weeks ago, and then we sent it again on Wednesday. Any further questions on Senate Committee sub for House Committee sub for House Bill 971? Seeing none, I renew my motion that we adopt the Senate Committee substitute for these bills. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no, and the ayes have it. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I renew my motion that we vote do pass Senate Committee substitute, House Committee substitute for House Bills 971, 293, and 978. Mr. Secretary, call the roll. Do I have a second? Having a second, Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Schroer,
Aye.
Gregory 15,
Aye.
Brown 26, Berger, May, Roberts, Schnelting, 6-0.
I vote a 6-0. Motion carries. Last bill of the day, I move that we bring House Committee sub for House Bill 1464 before the committee. Do I have a second? Having a second, it is now before the committee. I have a Senate Committee substitute for clarification, which was emailed a couple weeks back and then again on Wednesday. And I move that we adopt Senate Committee substitute for Senate Bill 1464. Do I have a second? Having a second, this is the bill on vulnerable persons. And we're including many of the provisions that we just had spoken about in several of the bills today. Insert provisions identical to Senate Bill 143 relating to juvenile detainment, the offense of trespass by legal aliens, and restitution for human trafficking. We inserted provisions similar to Senate Bill 718 relating to the use of restraints on juvenile or children in juvenile courts. I believe that was Senator Roberts' bill, which we heard several weeks back and voted out. Included provisions relating to childhood sexual abuse actions. I believe that was part of the original bill and part of Senator Hudson's bills, which we voted out unanimously in this committee. Inserted the Senate Committee sub for Senate Bill 295 relating to adult cabaret performances from Senator Bratton, which was voted out several months ago in the Education Committee. And we changed 15 to 20, then the term 15 to 20 in the provision regarding the offense of sexual trafficking of a child in the second degree. And the modification of the Cyber Crime Investigation Fund, we're extending that sunset like we have on several because that is expiring this year, and that's a provision from Senator Carter. Any questions on this bill to protect vulnerable persons, which I know we all want to do? Seeing none, I renew my motion that we adopt Senate Committee substitute for House Committee sub for House Bill 1464. Do I have a second? Having a second, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against say no. And the ayes have it. I now renew my motion that we do pass Senate Committee substitute for House Committee substitute for House Bill 1464. Do I have a second? Having a second, Mr. Secretary, call the roll.
Senators Schroer,
Aye.
Gregory 15, Brown 26, Berger, May, Roberts, Schnelting,
By a vote of 6-0, motion carries. Any further discussion that anyone would like to provide today on anything or anyone? Seeing nothing further before this committee, I move that we adjourn. Having any seconds? Having a second, we are adjourned.